welcome to Cara's Fast Natural English podcast, the podcast for English learners who want to improve their listening skills by actually listening to and understanding fast conversational English. Hi there, so in this episode I'm going to talk about something rather controversial. I'm going to suggest that you don't listen to TED or TED Talks if you want to improve your conversational listening. You might even not know what TED Talks are. They're great, by the way. You can find them all on a website called TED.com. TED stands for Technology, Entertainment and Design, and the TED organisation organises conferences every year where they invite speakers from different fields like business, science or education to come and give a talk to inspire, educate or entertain. And a lot of teachers recommend these videos because they have a fantastic interactive transcript under them. And you know, they're fairly short, they're on interesting topics, they're great to work with. So why I'm asking you to not bother with them? Well, if you know me, then you'll know that I believe that most learners really struggle with conversational English. So that when they find themselves talking to a native speaker in conversation, they're overwhelmed not by the new words, not by the fancy topics or expressions they don't know. They struggle because they don't know how the words they do know sound in fast, informal spoken English. So I'll give you 5 reasons why I think TED Talks are no good if you want to improve your conversational listening. So the first reason is there is normally a very fancy slideshow to accompany the talk. And I'm sure you can relate that, you know, you won't be able to remember a time where you were having a conversation and you were able to show your conversation partner a slideshow. I don't think that's ever happened to anybody anywhere. You know, you might have some body language to help you out, but you certainly won't have a big slideshow with, diagrams and things like that on it. Second reason is that even though there is this fantastic interactive transcript underneath the talk, I think it's so good that you might rely on it too much because you can see the exact line being spoken, you can move to different parts of the talk, you can add subtitles in your own language. It's something that might actually be detrimental to you because you might end up using it too much and relying on it too much and not using your ears enough. Okay, third reason, a TED talk, it's kind of a big deal. So I took this explanation from the TED website in the section for speakers, and it says TED isn't a typical conference. The TED audience has high expectations of the speakers. The TED speaker team works with speakers well in advance of the conference to help shape a presentation that will succeed on the TED stage. TED is the place to give the talk of your life. So as you can imagine, a lot of planning goes on. So the spoken word is pre-planned before. And the speakers are talking to educate people, to inform them, to inspire them. So they're talking carefully, less casually, and not so conversationally. And of course, a big part of conversational language, conversational speech, is that people don't plan it in advance, they plan it as they go. Okay, whereas a TED talk is something that's very carefully planned in advance, designed to be carefully delivered. The fourth reason is to do with something I'm calling information density. So the talks can be, 10 minutes long or 20 minutes long, and there are a lot of ideas to absorb. So that's why you've got the slides to accompany some of the talks. There could be a lot of unknown vocabulary. It might be in a field that you don't know much about. You've got a lot to take in and absorb. When you're having a conversation with someone, the ideas and the links between the ideas and the transitions, they're not so complex. What makes conversation more difficult to follow is to do with the speed of the delivery, the false starts, people eating their words, repeating themselves, changing their minds, all these features that we know about. And finally, another reason why I don't think TED Talks will help you with your conversational listening is that there's no interaction. It's just one person monologuing. There are no interruptions, no questions from the audience, whereas conversation is all about interaction by its very nature. So, you're helping each other in a conversation, finishing each other's sentences, referring to what the other person said, asking for clarification and repetition. And we don't hear any of these features in your typical monologue style presentation like a TED talk. So that's why, sadly, even though they're a wonderful listening resource and available totally for free on the TED.com website, I don't think there's a solution to your listening problems if what you're struggling with is listening to and understanding speakers in conversation or TV shows or films where people are talking in a conversational way. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Cara's Fast Natural English podcast. If you're listening on iTunes, Stitcher or SoundCloud, make sure you head to the blog to check out the activities to go with the episode. Also, if you haven't done so already, make sure you download my free e-guide to become a Leo listener. Thanks very much to podcastthemes.com for the theme music for this podcast. See you next time. Bye!